Have you ever thought that the way people are out there treating each other and dealing with each other, that there could be a demon or parasite or some other kind of thing at play? I personally do believe that there is demons and parasites at play, just as much as there was back in the earlier days. And in all honesty of today, we deal with a lot harsher and a lot colder of demons. Nevertheless, they have the same powers. It's just they've been brought up to new levels of creating pain with the amounts of avenues that they're so readily available to take in the world these days. So when you're dealing with a strong man demon or an adversary with these strong men, within their spirit, it's broken, and you can feel it within your body when these demons emerge. It's not okay to contend with them. So this is how you get rid of them, and how do you get them to come out. And ideas on making the discernment necessary to remove them from your bodies, minds, or characters. It's imperative to learn to use your discernment, because it's not a judging power, it's just your ability to determine the right and wrong actions and behaviors of others. This is why it is especially important to always remain watchful over your own thoughts, because there's enough out there to engage with you on that level to where you're not going to even notice these novice demons taking over your body, your character, your mind, or some other aspect of your life. Nevertheless, they're there. That is why when you're facing these demons head on, and you're not shying away from your responsibility to discern these demons and to kick them out and get rid of them in your life, if they want to continue to surface, they will continue to surface through other people and manifest themselves in that way. It's only so long before that relationship then is put through trials and tribulations, because when you're facing demons that other people are only willing to continue to contend with, that relationship isn't going to last, because it wasn't meant to. You see, God wants us with fellowship and being stewards towards becoming better Christians and better people. And in turn, you become a stronger person and a better person. This isn't about beating anyone at their own game or anything like that, but it's about beating the characters of these demons and manifestations out of our minds, bodies, spirits, souls, our characters, and any other fashion that they could affect our lives. And by making certain that you aren't contending with demons on that level, where you are willing to sacrifice your time for these evils other people are willing to contend with, you're already putting yourself on top of that game, because you're going to be able to discern and use discernment to see the demons that other people's are encompassing, even without them being aware that you are able to see these things. I'll tell people simply that they are contending with their demons. And if that's what they are contending with, leave me out. I want nothing to do with you or your demons. First thing you have to do is make sure of it that you forgive your enemies. If you're not willing to remove your own thorns from your own eyes, how are you going to remove the spear from another? And the same thing in reverse. If you're not willing to remove the spear from your own eyes, how are you going to remove the thorns from another? You simply have to acknowledge the demon for who they are, what they are, where they want to go in your life, how they want to move, because they are prideful, and a lot of times people don't know the strong men that they're dealing with. So instead of holding on to their own crown, so to speak, they lose it, and they start to contend with their demons. So oftentimes when dealing with a strongman, it can often feel as though you are losing a part of yourself, even though you're really not. You're losing a strongman, and something that has had its grip over your life for a long time maybe. I think about things like addiction to cigarettes in this example because oftentimes we associate ourselves as someone that is a smoker forever, even though we ourselves want to quit smoking. We know that before these chemicals and nicotine that we were pure, and before we started smoking, soon after it wrecked us. That's a demon that we are contending with. And when we try and quit, it might feel as though we are going up against ourselves, when in reality, we are only up against a demon that never belonged in our lives in the first place. So the same goes for how people are willing to act and what people are willing to do with their lives, how they're willing to treat loved ones. Simply do not go past this line, or it doesn't matter when it's over, because it's over the minute you cross that line. Those are the lines that you have to set for yourself if you want to get the demon out and go after the strongman in order to have the strongman removed. But you have to be willing to do the work that is there to do. Oftentimes, someone close to you is going to show you that they don't have any spiritual spine that you have. And instead of being a person of true grit that will stand and side with you, will stand and side with the evils that they're now provoking within you. And the demons that they're contending with, that you are no longer contending with, or that you have a problem with. These people willingly administering their demons. Some of them have no idea that they're even contending with demons at all. The demons are so ingrained in their personality and in their occult that they don't notice them. They think that they're just an asshole, or they are just this way. They are not just that way, and people can do the inner work that needs to be done to change. And some people just allow them into their own lives to become fully manifested in those demons. Some people enjoy the evil. So these people become full of pride, envious of others for doing the work that they know they should have done, and for doing and trying to do the work that they could have been doing or could have done but just didn't. I can always tell a person by how quick they are to becoming bitter and backbiting and just filled with anger, and they don't ever go shut off the valve. They're fully engaged with the demons, and they're full on content sometimes playing with them, so much so that they will act as though there isn't anything wrong with them, and it's only your imagination, and it's all in your head. I'm sure some of people have heard these terms, and especially when you're dealing with a narcissistic or narcissistic abuse, being gaslit and shit. But when you yourselves are dealing with deliverance from these demons, and especially the strongman demons in your life, they will surface in others who are quite content with allowing that interaction with the demon and letting it run its course in their lives. They feel as though they aren't doing anything wrong, or their anger and pride for their willful sin isn't even in check, like you have yours. They will act just like they have always been okay with these demons, even though these demons have completely taken over and made themselves manifest in their lives. Yet, some people just don't see it. Use discernment, but don't let it wreck your ability to rationalize these situations as they arise. I'm sorry, but as a Christian, you're going to have to face demons and be able to discern the people who are around you, who are going to continue to either run with the legions of demons or do the right thing and be able to decipher the demons that not only are inside of yourselves, but within other people as well, and they're everywhere. If you're not refined in the faith, you're going to act immature in the faith. You don't have grit for God. Rather, you have been grinding for the demons in your life and not for yourselves at all. You'll become lost on yourself, not knowing who you are. Oftentimes, sin leads us into places where we find ourselves contending with demons that we otherwise wouldn't have chosen to mess with. You can think that you could walk into the fire and save someone and come unscathed. No, you don't go into fires and save other people and get to walk out without getting burned or wrecked in some fashion for yourselves. And I needed to learn this one, actually, recently. I walked into a fire within a relationship and I wanted to save her, but I didn't get to walk out without getting burned or wrecked. I got burned bad and wrecked bad by this demon that this person has been contending with. You need to deprive that demon of anything that feeds its nature. So when you are up against the storm and no one knows the way that you are feeling or what you are going through, and all of a sudden you're at a crossroads in your life because you're contending with people who won't even stop or block these attacks from coming, while instead the many of these manifestations that will show up in your life will show up as people who legitimately got you to believe that they care about you, that they got your back, and wouldn't do anything to ever hurt you. And you are made to feel safe with this person, just to end up in a situation, or many situations, where you are being told otherwise, shown otherwise. These demons do not have your best interests in mind. Their intentions are sneaky. They want to destroy you on every single level, and in the most subtle ways that they can, to hurt you. So they will manifest themselves in loved ones and people whom you thought you couldn't trust with things. And the fact of the matter is that you have to become stoic, and not only not be affected by what these demons want to do, they want to destroy you and will manifest themselves in people you care about in order to get to you. So when you are dealing with this in a very immature, argumentative people, they have obviously chosen the side that they want to be on instead of caring anymore. And instead of contending with them or even trying to be in battle with them, step back and step out and get away from that life altogether. If you can, do it quickly. Just breathe in the air and get away from these people, because they aren't trying to step into the light or go where you are trying to go. Step anyways. Don't let these demons try to hold you back from fighting them and continuing to fight them until the day they retire. Stop at nothing, my friend, because these demons not only will take the best life away from you, but will strip you from reason in order that you don't see the truth and you don't wake up and get hip to this kind of stuff, because the stuff that is going on these days, it's happening and people just don't see it. Instead, they've been brought up to believe that these demons they contend with are just a natural part of them, and they don't see anything wrong with the dirty, evil, malicious things that they are willing to do to treat people like. The kind of dirty that doesn't wash off in the shower. The kind of dirty that doesn't get to make it into heaven. The kind of dirty that chooses to be dirty and stays dirty, plays dirty, and it won't even clean, and it won't be until every clean vessel in their own lives is now dirtied up with something that it starts to eat away at their very own souls. It starts to eat away at their lives. It starts to eat away at their minds. It starts to eat away at their characters until they are run completely out of any character that is any part of their true spirit. People let these voices become so deadened inside that they just don't even remember who they were or who they wanted to be anymore. They've allowed the demons to manifest, to take over, to the point that they've lost their own humanity, not to mention their sanity. You can see it in the faces of people who have lost their ways. They should be attacking the issues rather than running with them. But instead of tackling these issues head on and being the one that's going to conquer it, they let it conquer them. Just like my smoking has and is conquering me right now. I want to quit. I know that before I started smoking I was a non-smoker, but somehow this demon's got me thinking that I'm a smoker. Full-fledged smoker for life, even though it's definitely a demon that everyone could witness somewhere in their lives or around their lives, but that's battling addiction, and it's realizing that they've been accompanied by a demon that makes you feel like everything is going to be okay, for a tragedy in the end that it's going to cost you your life if you continue to contend with that demon. Addiction. I'm just trying to make simple analogies here for you to understand, because they aren't always as simple to define. You have to find them and define those things for yourselves. It's important to understand this stuff because demons are very subtle. They're also very versatile in the world, in their craft, and if you're going to get good at deciphering demons and casting them out, you're going to get even better at asking God for the wisdom and to lead you to the correct knowledge that you need in order to get rid of demons that are controlling your lives, and become the one that's going to choose to conquer them. Be the one that's going to choose to keep them in chains so that you can help others conquer theirs as well. If you are going to get good at asking God for the wisdom it takes, you're going to have to get good at accepting what God has to give. And it's not always what you want to hear. But you'll get an answer, all right. Ask God to reveal the strongholds and also the demon's strengths so that you can counteract those strengths with grit. Demons aren't fighting fairly in this life and never will. So why are Christians trying to fight fair here? I mean, you stand on the side of righteousness, so you should be alright to rebuke these bad behaviors, right? Wrong. Fighting fair is leaving it alone and making sure that you're praying about it. But I don't think that it's wrong for us to want to raise awareness to the lives that we've been having to live based on the demons and the demons that are full-fledged at play within our lives. We all have a story to tell, and it's up to the listeners and the readers to find that reason without allowing the censorship efforts to silence us before they get the chance to utilize their own reasoning skills and get to make up their own minds as to what they believe and what they don't believe. The wisdom you ask for from God is going to break that stronghold every time. As long as you ask without a wavering spirit about having the wisdom to deal with what will be revealed to you, you will have the encouragement, at least, and be able to thwart off these demons and to cast them down. If not, also the discernment and more abilities to discern these demons, cast them out. Like, why can't I get up every day to exercise? Is it laziness? Is it the fact that I've been sick and just feeling so broken lately? Is it the fact that I'm depressed sometimes that just it makes it harder to get out of bed? Whatever it is, I have to determine for myself what it is that is standing in my way from my achieving success in this endeavor, and I have to go after it. I don't do this for anybody else, I do this for me. It's just the pain sometimes that's causing me to just not want to move, or I have to actually push myself to roll out of bed with the momentum behind it just to get up with less pain. Getting up normal feels like I'm broken. So I'm targeting these pains by trying to figure out the root causes of all of these pains and uproot them from my life, my habits, and begin to form new ones, even ones that excite me more, like writing, or even just taking 5-minute breaks that I normally wouldn't take, just to sit and think and pray or work on something that is only for me and myself alone. I do this because I have set so much of myself down for other people, and I've cared so much about what other people think, and I've cared so much for other people that I've wasted a lot of time into myself by even thinking that if I made something better of myself, that these people around me would be proud of me. And the fact of the matter is that some of the people that you think are in your corner are only in your corner to hurt you and want to see you fail. They may show you otherwise, but as soon as you start to care for yourselves, they will manifest their own demons in ways that you can decipher and carry out in their own darkness, and nothing you've ever thought about this person will matter. Because what you thought of this person was all imaginary. And you have to be okay sometimes with just knowing that you didn't know a person. You knew the facade that you created of that person, and the facade that they played to be, knowing that everything you once thought about this person turned out to just be a lie, and everything that you've been trying to fight in your own life are the very characters that you are working on within yourselves, so that you never have to be that way towards anybody. So you do not need to stay around people who are going to continue to manifest demons that are really, they don't know anything about them. You have to be able to forgive them and walk away from them sometimes. It's easier said than done, I get it, because you care about people, and you come to find that oftentimes they don't care about you at all. They won't be there for you when you need them, so just move on from them and find others who want to be there with you and fight in the same ways that you do, or at least be willing to be doing some of the inner work necessary in order that you do not become like everybody else is, running with these things that they know nothing about and manifesting legions of demons and strongholds along the way that just take their lives and shred it. I've seen it time and time again. Sometimes these demons present themselves in the littlest things, like a cough, a yawn, or just standing up straight and sitting with good posture. When you start standing yourselves up to these demons and they see that they can't sit in a slump anymore, they will leave. And when they leave, you will start to see the demons showing up in other people. The same demons that you had, that you just got rid of, you'll see showing up in other people. And this happens because it's really a way that will make you see yourself as clean or cleaner. And because you see yourself that way and you hold yourself together in that way for a length of time, that length of time determines the outcome of when you actually meet someone is harnessing that same demon, and you can see it clear as day. This stuff will really just make you want to clean yourself up in the end, because you'll realize just how subtle Satan is and his legion of demons really are. Let people think that you're crazy if they want to think that you're crazy. If they want to continue thinking that there's no work to be done here, let them think that there's no work to be done here when there's a ton of work to be done here. You look at all these people as though they haven't even hit day one Christianity while they're willing to laugh and act as though that what you're doing is a total joke. Let them mock and joke, because these people and their demons that they have allowed to manifest in their lives, I'm sorry, but those demons are the joke. It's not the people that are willing to try and be of true grit and true spirit and true character. It's the other. We find out that these demons only come through prayer and fasting. They only come out through prayer and fasting. That's the only way to get them out. You can do all of the detox recipes you want. If you got demons, you need to pray. You need to be praying. This kind only comes out by prayer and fasting. If you like to joke around a lot, go find a serious person to help pray with you. If you are angry all the time and frustrated, go find a peaceful person to pray with, or a person that seems to be content in troubling circumstances at least. You see, when we have problems, there is always a person with the opposite traits to help us pray for what we need and to steer us to the right path. You can even think of these people and just pray as if you can hear how they would pray, hear how they would sound. This can also help. The idea here is that you can visualize and instill those prayers so that you can encompass what their prayers would look like to you, and chances are is that you're going to be pretty darn close if you aren't able to close yourself off enough to actually hear what their prayers would look like. You can understand their prayers then too for yourself. Your demons won't like them, and that's just a fact. Demons don't like certain people, or all people. And who is this people that they don't like? They don't like people with the opposite characteristics of their own nature. It's just like when you're a drug addict, or someone's a drug addict, and someone you know is calling you out to act right. And I can understand why people turn to drugs, but I can't see why someone would willfully be choosing to stay in that life, because you can see the deterioration effects just in a short amount of time. But you'll see the people who want to choose not to do something will oftentimes become the same people that have to deal with their reign of terror, so to speak. It's because their demons cannot resonate with you because of the places that you are willing to step into in order to show people the light where most people won't go. So most people have no idea why you are left with such a troubling look sometimes, because they have no idea the actual battle that they've been left to fight, and the place is left in order to fight from. They have no idea where you've come from, none at all. So you have to fast and you have to pray. And just what do you pray about? And what do you pray for? You don't make it repetitious where it has no meaning. You take a prayer and make it make meaning for you and for the people around you. You take prayer, you make it personal, and you make it between you and God. Just look at the echo chamber that is our internet these days, where people can run inside with all sorts of stuff that just has no value and shows no actual grit of character. And truthfully, these are the same people and demons that like to run in packs because they feel safe with the herd mentality. I personally don't. I, however, do not feel safe with the herd mentality when the herd is going down like sheep, treading and paying for their agencies to be taken away, and their voices to go with unmet challenges that this world faces, and even losing their rights to obtain the kind of community where we can thrive on the sheer fact that we are a force that is yet to be reckoned with in this world. Things of this nature scare people because it challenges people to remain human with people, even when they hold on to fear so greatly for what that it is that these people could create in the world. But its mass potential is not even capable of being met by my standards of what life could look like today. If these simplest qualifications for life were met, we wouldn't know what the world would look like, which I should talk about in a whole nother video series, because the quality of life depends on the people with great minds like you and I to use our minds to create things of intelligence and utilize our minds to see today's challenges as something that can be faced and something that can be defeated, like world hunger and homelessness. No one should be living today as though without these controls in life, we wouldn't have already have been living a whole different kind of way. Nobody needs to think that that's not possible or that it wouldn't have been possible without the controllers that are in place today. I tend to think that our worth is far more valuable than we've ever been given credit to be able to become the heroes in our own lives, so to speak. So no one should be living as though we don't have controls in this life. It's astounding to me to think that people don't already have the knowledge to equip themselves with the ideas that manifest with the slightest of dreams, not being able to be met by the world's standards and the world's controls over its people. You have to understand the psychology that is at play with these people and the demons that are there, and the ways that people are willing to socialize and behave. It's very important either way to find someone that has overcome the issues that you are dealing with as a Christian, and finding that person so that you can relate to them and what you are going through, in order that you can see it even possible sometimes that they can be overcome and that they can be sought out, and that you can attack these demons with the Almighty, and there isn't anything that He can't do in His own timing. I'm 100% convinced through prayer and fasting alone that you can get any demon out that you are struggling with yourselves, and you can do it on your own. This fight is with demons and has to deal with you and your relationship to God and God alone. This has nothing to do with other people. Rather, it's just a helpful thing to have active fellowship and community that believes the same way as you do, and to stand with others who are stewards of this brave new plight. Because it takes courage to step into the dark things that people are going through. It takes courage. And to try to tell them that they're not going through it alone, even when they feel alone, and even if they are running with the pack, and you are currently moving a wolf speed with the demons you're running with, you can still stand in yourselves at some point enough to know where you went and where you are going is wrong, and know that the demons that you are fully engaged with. Next is that people must put down their devices and seek the Almighty God and God alone. Not only because God wants you all to Himself, but because demons like to be stimulated with images and imagery of beautiful people. And this is something that needs to be addressed, because we are all addicted to social media to some level. But these places are literally just stealing away our agency for profit. Well, I think even sabotaging your abilities to obtain that dream life that you had set out for yourselves, they're able to get because you're giving away your agency. When it censors you in times when you're doing the work and working on truly amazing things, you should question the validity of the systems in place, and rightly so. If they aren't ethical, and they claim to be, they need to be called out for the very evil thing that they represent, and be replaced with the coming generations of thinkers making the internet and even decentralized currencies like crypto that much safer, tax-free, and unmasked by the potential that it thrives from. Working in highly being able to take us from the state of despair and poverty to new heights where every single person can be living the life that they dream to be living. But their mom's house, or finally just being able to take that trip to the ocean, people have to set down these devices because they're simply stealing away our agency from us and making it harder to establish the kinds of businesses and other things that we would have been engaging in otherwise. And in all honesty, I believe we would be taking the world by storm. The world cannot handle us, The world wanted only one thing, and that is to deaden us, to stampede out that spirit within us, to engage with the demons in such a way where we are going to win. They might have succeeded this far, but they stand no chance when we begin working together on you and me. In whatever endeavor that we touch from here on out, be as blessed as God has ever made it to be. And I believe that God is trying to do a whole lot more in your life and my life combined. This world simply cannot contain God's love for you and I. It's made it very clear that it only likes to play with demons. Either way you want to look at it, when you are giving away your time to not responsibly at least use social media is going to basically use you. It's going to use your time and take the agency and energy you otherwise could spend working on your own things and making money off of you, while you just become numb to it, use it, scroll it, not really gain anything out of it. These demons love when people just become so hip to their phones and their devices that they can't even shut them off, quiet them, shut them, or walk away from them on a charger, or just to be quiet somewhere, and taking themselves away from all the garbage that's out there for people's minds to soak up. Demons live inside of you somewhere, and they love to see some girl or some guy with his shirt off in the gym or whatever it is. It's a lust of the flesh and eyes, and it's just not something that you need. So you need to shut off your cell phones and unplug from the internet all the while, because demons get off on making you feel as though what you're looking at and even feeling like you actually enjoy it. I mean, if that's your thing, fine, but men, and I think especially young men, need to stop watching porn. It's just so readily available on the internet these days. If you can't be on the phone without that phone getting inside your head, or being online without having the insight into demonology and recognizing the things that are out here for what garbage they actually are, you shouldn't even be on the internet. Like lust, a lot of people think that they can just look at the stuff without the spirit coming in. It's coming in alright. It's the lust of the flesh. And just engaging into the material is disgusting enough and all over the place. But you tell men to engage with themselves fully and not to engage in that material, and all of a sudden you're the one that needs to be censored, and you're the one thought-provoking. Cancel culture comes into play or something. You get throttled out, you get blacklisted, you get hacked, you get censored. You have to start up a new account. So why not start up more than one? Well, they do. They got trolls. Why aren't Christians? What am I suggesting to people? It's just that evil is working hard on its side of things in the world today. So why not work twice as hard as they do? Evil never sleeps. So you too must get up and rise to the challenges every single day, and be willing to be alone and take things head on and be stoic. Don't be so affected by other people and what they're willing to do. Be a single thread or a unit or a standing tower, firm in only who you are to yourself and yourself alone, or where you are trying to get to. Don't tell everyone your secrets, and don't trade ideas with those who want to think of your ideas as small ideas. If they want to downplay your ideas, don't pretend that you're having a good time with them by running the other way or doing something different. Don't be afraid of your dreams. Instead, be afraid of not trying to go after one of them, because with one goal met, you'll make 12 more, and you'll always have another mountain to climb when you reach the peak of one. There's always work to be done here. When you allow a demon's essence to come in, and you're going to be rewarded like that, don't even allow the door to be opened. Allow zero access to you and give it zero energy, because it isn't worth your time or energy. That energy is completely wasted where you should be spending your energy. And if you asked yourselves what you should be spending your time and energy on, I'm sure you will come up with an answer, and it might not be the answer you like, but it'll be the answer that you need, and that you need to start paying attention to if you're going to be the man that manifests these changes in their lives, or if you're going to be a man of character. Resist and fight with your will. You have to be willing to resist and fight demons, people. You have to be willing to fight them out of people. Shut the phones off. If there's something that you need to stand up, stand there for it. Wrestle. We wrestle not against the flesh and blood, but against powers and principalities. So you have to fight. Christians who think that the devil is just going to back away because you did one thing, and you still have many more demons to fight, isn't going to win and conquer things in their own lives, or be able to fight for another person. You have to be able to stand yourselves up in this battle and fight it in a way where you are going to win no matter what. You have no other choice left but to win. And so you will win. But nevertheless, you have to be willing to stand firm in your convictions and the promises that you make to yourselves, and to help all that you are requesting from God, be it as authentic as it should be. You still have to be willing to fight. The point is that you always are going to be a fighter. Urges, behaviors, conversations, loneliness at times, or having to be still and be alone. Continuing to move forward when it feels insurmountable to you at the time. Yeah, you have to keep going. And you have to continue to go no matter what. So, stand up and fight for what is right in your life. These people have been being trampled over and over by these demons who haven't done any work in order to get them to come out, are going to be going on a ride to hell. And the devil loves them while they are here and in the now, because the evils have gotten away with it this far, and they plan to take it all the way to the end and take you right along with them. You know so well, right out of you. They will rise up, they will rip out of yourselves, and this is exactly why people have a hard time being blessed, is because they see themselves as doomed and destined to fail. If you're ever going to win, you have to see yourself as a winner and being on the winning team. And as long as you're doing the right things and being of good nature, you should be okay, right? Wrong. This world is full of demons that will stamp you out for trying to go up against the social norms. They will stand up for the evils that they are already prevailing at the cost of creating in the social prison, and then penalize you for speaking, which is what has been said in its very design and ethics, as it has none. As long as it's set up to distort your reality and make it into that which tells itself that it's okay to use this sin, and gets to pick and choose which sin it gets to coincide with, it's got you right where it wants you, and will use everything in its power for its own pursuit of taking your rights away to find peace, happiness, and maybe a little land, or to be left alone. Or if all you want is to get loud and be able to help people and do better things in this life, then you might be deemed as a crazy person. And just be okay with being looked at as someone that's crazy. I mean, I take it as a compliment, because You have to be a little crazy in this life in order to make it. And especially if you're ever going to try and make something insurmountable of yourselves to come true and take it to the very top, you're going to have to be set out with that fire in your belly, and it's going to sadly disappoint you to no end when you're faced with adversaries that will come into your life or make themselves known agents that they have now uprooted a few abilities you've had in order to get you where it wants you to be. You have to stay strong in yourselves and remain stoic when a strong man decides to break you. If they know they can torment you, they are going to stay there and torment you much longer because they know that it's going to bother you. If you don't allow these things to bother you, they will just go away a lot quicker, and you won't have to be bothered by them anymore. You can always take yourselves up out of a situation by telling that you need time and space, and just taking that time to reflect and actually leave. Leave no room for failing here by just not being able to be a contender in their lives. If they are content with leaving you out this way, be content with leaving them forever. Go your own way and be on your own paths. Don't allow yourselves to be taken out or off the path that you are on, and be still inside of it. Be patient, be kind, show value, but don't conform in order to get other people's approval. Be yourselves. Don't be scared to stand alone. Rise up to the challenges and fight for the things that mean things to you in your life. People think that these demons come out easy and just go away, and oftentimes it's not always that easy. When what you reap is what you sow, and God will not be mocked. So you're going to pay for it in the end, and when it gets ripped out of you, it's going to hurt. Old habits die hard, as they say. So things of this nature being uprooted from us is a painful thing, and it's hard to go through, because oftentimes the stingers will still be inside of you, and you'll be fighting the whole host of demons, but you'll be targeting the strongest one. And while you're getting all the little ones, sometimes that stinger stays in, or their garbage they leave behind leaves you in all sorts of diseases and having a body that leaves you feeling prone to getting sicker much easier. And it's actually only leaving you sicker and sicker. The demons at play here don't want to just take a little bit away from you. They want to take the whole thing and take you the whole way apart and assist you to hell right along with them. Demons don't fight fair, so neither do humans fight fair. This is why I'm telling people to stand up stronger and to get prepared for war. Sometimes we have people in our lives that are going to provoke demons. And if you have a strong man in your life and you need to uproot, if someone is causing you to act it out and provokes you to feeling that low that you stop grounding yourselves within your own convictions, you need to get them out of your life, and you need to get them out of your life now. Removing them from being able to be conniving, to be gaslighting, to treat you with narcissistic qualities, or showing you traits that these demons have, that you have parted ways with. They're going to make your job much harder than it already is, and provoking that demon in you is not something that you need. You have to be willing to remove them, stand alone, and be still within yourselves in order to know what to do in situations on a case-by-case basis, in order to fully engage with who you want to become and contend with making it your business to establish the kinds of lifestyles that you want to create for yourself. This has nothing to do with these kinds of people, because these kinds of people are not going to be there for you, and they're not going to be there at the top with you when you get there. These people only will make it impossible for you to even think that you have the chance at succeeding, so that you never do become strong enough to remove these people from your life. Instead, they stay idly running by with them. Never be ashamed to ask for prayer. And if you're ever made to feel as though you don't matter in your health or in your walk with the Lord, walk away. Learn the demons' behavior patterns and deprive them of those patterns. Demons are the prince of the power of the air. They are the god of this world. People have to learn their strategies and tactics in order to stand in the faces of their adversaries and be able to target them back and put them back into the places and the corners of the earth where they should belong. Don't anymore. They're out in the open. They're everywhere. There's no safe place. There is no peace that you can obtain in this world without first defeating Satan. So don't just seek comfort in this life. Rather, seek comfort in the after. This life is going to be a small little tiny spark of the actual fire. Nevertheless, it's an important part of the process in order to refine ourselves and channel our greatest efforts into creating and making the best out of the life that God has given us. Cherish it and take care of it. Own it and own up to the responsibility that you have for it, for the future. This is my prayer for you all, is that you walk these things out of your life. The things that are holding you back from becoming the beacon that others are determined to seeing you as. The things that are holding you back from trying to become more for others and become a blessing to others as well. If you want to be a blessing, work on your becoming and work on your walk with God. It's up to God to bless us, to give to us, and it's up to God to take away. So I'd imagine that you should be mighty thankful that you even got to wake up today. So when I wake up, I might be downcast from a lot of the things that I've had to deal with this far. But when I finally do get up, I am ready to put on the armor and rise to the challenges that we have going on in the world today. I don't care if I have to start 20 businesses or 200. There's a lot of work to be done here, and not enough time to get them all done in. My hope is to get all of those dreams people have out there met, and met swiftly, and be able to create the space needed and the time needed in order to help these people create those businesses and establish those lives that they should otherwise be living.
Wow.